Yeah. So what role does like the Mosaic Law play into some of these? So this probably relates to like theonomy and stuff, but
Yeah.
what role does the Mosaic Law play in our understanding and thinking of religious liberty, especially, laws such as against polygamy, sodomy, like, some of these moral laws that are still, illegal, quote unquote.
Yeah. So I think as Baptists, we would say that it's not the job of the state to do the work of the church. And so as Baptists, we would say that we do not want the state legislating based on particular Bible verses. But at the same time, we would also say that a lot of the moral codes that we see in the Mosaic Law, they are grounded in what we would call creational ordinances, or grounded in the natural law. And I believe natural law is the language that God has given to as a function of common grace, that has given to the world to deliberate on matters of morality without having to say, or without having to believe, or without everyone in a society having to believe everything correctly about God. We all, I mean, it's so funny. People want to deny the existence of natural law, but you can't deny the existence of natural law because, right now we have in Louisville, Kentucky, we're not all non-Christians aren't walking around stealing from each other and murdering each other. Okay, well, if that's the case, we have to ask the question: why are non-Christians not murdering and not stealing from each other? Well, it's because they have some intrinsic understanding of right and wrong. And I would say, based on my reading of Genesis chapter 1 and 2 and my reading of Genesis chapter 9, that God has established creational ordinances that we come to know through the natural law, and that are still binding on us even in a fallen age. And of course, we're going to have debates about the finer points of how to craft law. But we don't have laws right now saying it's good to steal from people. And because we don't have those laws, that's a testament of the reality that natural law is real, and people to some extent are following. So let me back up to say this. When you have the Mosaic Law, like you take the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments have long been interpreted, especially by the magisterial reformers, as a codification and distillation of the natural law itself. You can't have a society where it's lawless. You can't have a society where people are murdering each other. You can't have a society where everyone lies to each other. But the question is, does a society need to cite Deuteronomy chapter 20 to craft those good laws? And I would say no. I think a lot of the magisterial reformers would say no, because they would point to the fact that those principles are embedded in natural law itself.
That's helpful. So we're getting close on time here. Anything else you want to add about the book, or anything you want to share? Like, what's the most important thing you want people to know about it?
Oh man, I have not been asked that question. The most important thing, I think people should come away from the book understanding that religious liberty is something meant for this age only, to not make more of religious liberty than we should, that someday Christ is going to end religious liberty. But it's not our task to end it, it's Christ's. And so I think that reality is kind of the nugget, in my opinion, that helps us understand the inevitability of religious liberty. I mean, we have to have something like religious liberty, or else we're all going to be killing each other. And the default of human history has been, where you have religious disagreement, just kill each other. Bring those who disagree with you to the sword. Yeah. How has that gone for society? It's gone terribly. And so I think religious liberty helps us live peacefully in light of the age that we truly are in, which is one where we would expect people to disagree with us.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Well, I want to ask you, so being students, most most of our students have to be writers as well. What is your, you know, either for this book or you write numerous articles, what's like just a little snippet into your writing life or and some stuff that you've learned? You're pretty prolific in terms of, I mean, is this your first book?
No, I think it's my third.
Third book? But you also write articles regularly, like in-depth,
Yeah, yeah,
long articles. So you have
yeah.
a regular writing routine. What does that look like?
Well, I'm an early riser myself, and so if I'm going to do kind of deep work, I will wake up sometimes at 5 a.m. and that's when I'm kind of most alert. I'll have my coffee, I'll put my noise canceling headphones on, and this is really funny. You might make fun of me, but like I probably wrote 80% of my dissertation to Hans Zimmer's The Holiday soundtrack. And so I still listen to a lot. I really do as a writing hack,
Yeah.
like figure out focus music that helps you. So that's a big component of it. Also, I mean, I love to write. And so I sometimes don't know what I think about something until I'm staring at a canvas, like a blank canvas, and I just start going. And so that's kind of one of the reasons I feel like the Lord has just called me to a writing ministry is it comes pretty naturally. And you know, I'm not good about self-editing. I'm not good about outlining in advance. In many ways, I would not encourage people to follow what I do. And that's why you have to kind of figure out your own, what works for you. But to me, writing is a process of self-discovery. And that's what I love about it the most. It gives me a chance to kind of tap into what do I actually think about a subject and to analyze it, synthesize it, and hopefully figure out meaningful ways to communicate it. But I mean, if I mean other practical steps, I would say this big time. Um, if you have writing goals in mind, I would say don't say you're going to write for 30 minutes a day. I would say no, give yourself a word count. Word count to me is a much more measurable way to measure progress than writing length, writing time. And so I remember when I was writing my dissertation, like there were days where the rule was I want 1,000 words. I'm not getting out of this seat until I have 1,000 words. And some days that would come super easy. Other days it would be really, really, excuse me, hard. But I know that, you know, if you do lots and lots of days with 1,000 words a day, over time, that's going to build up to a dissertation. So I just think setting reasonable goals is a big deal.
Yeah, well, that's really helpful. Well, uh, I look forward to diving more fully into your book.
Yeah.
This has been a great discussion.